Hey humans, how's it going? It's Shani today here, and welcome back to the stream setup. I know it's not my usual YouTube, DSLR, hair and makeup, all of that other stuff. This is actually a video I didn't intend on making, and it's kind of like really rushed last minute vibes, kind of like yesterday's video, but also, I don't know, if you missed yesterday's one, go check it out. It's going to be in the cards right now. But basically today, as pointed out in yesterday's video comments by Michaela, is that today is actually the 6th anniversary of The Sims 4, and I thought what better way to commemorate the 6th anniversary of The Sims 4 being in existence than rating all of the packs. I know a ton of other Sims creators have done this in the past, and they all have their different reasons for liking and not liking specific packs, whereas I obviously have been playing since forever and a half. I'm a diehard Sims fan, and I thought I'd add my little kind of opinion to the internet, and whether or not you agree with me, that's totally okay. But I wanted to do it because it looked like fun, and I also like judging packs based off of how I use them versus how other people in the community use them. So let's get into it. So I will leave a link to this chart in the description below if you want to be able to do your own ratings, but I specifically chose this one because this is updated all the way up to Nifty Knitting. It doesn't include the new Star Wars pack because I didn't find it fair to rate the Star Wars pack just yet, given that it hasn't been released. It's only releasing on the 8th, so I thought let's judge it for what is currently in existence and the games that I currently own, and I do currently own all of the content. So it came out 6 years on PC, which I did play on my MacBook. I didn't have all the packs, and I didn't really want to play too much because I was playing on a MacBook, which was meant to be for work and blah blah blah. I only really dove like headfirst fully into buying packs and creating this giant library of Sims 4 stuff when it came out in 2017 on console. And as you would know, my channel is basically built off of being a console gaming channel and a Sims console channel. So the tiers, I didn't go with the traditional tiers that are usually used for tier maker, and I actually decided that I was going to use Sims characters that are known throughout the world and I see get commented on by the community quite a lot. I mean, I've mentioned in the past in previous videos that I'm in a Facebook group, which is like an international community of the Sims creators and Sims players and Sims like fans from all over the world. And to see so many people collectively hate Vlad is just incredible, because I've got no problem with Vlad, but just the funny running joke of him showing up and people not being stoked about it, and just like, I don't know, maybe that's just the vampires pack in general, but I think Vlad gets such a more hard rap than he deserves. He's a beautiful character. There's nothing against any of the characters that I've used for ranking purposes. I just thought it was quite funny that he is literally one of the most complained about or pointed out Sims when he's like shown up at random events throughout the town and like knocking on your door at 2 in the morning and being unwanted. I have personally, actually I'll get into that when we go into the vampires pack, but anyway, that's why Vlad is the bottom tier. I personally don't have any problems with Vlad. That's completely up to how I've seen the community react to him. Then you've got the random city living townies, which are like dressed up in the raccoon costume and the wrestling costume and like the St. Paddy's Day hat. I love them as well, obviously, and they're meant to be like, I know they have a specific name or whatever, but I know they're meant to show the eccentricity, the eccentricness of the townies that live in the city. Like, the city's completely different from the suburbs, and that's what they're meant to be there for. But they're also kind of random, and they usually ruin my screenshots, so they're just a step above Vlad. And then we've got the pancakes, which is like Bob and Betty Newbie turned into Bob and Eliza Pancakes, which is like the staple. It's like the staple of The Sims. It's like the first family that you really get to know, although there's not really a tutorial family in The Sims 4. If you're from OG days, this is their emotional replacement. Like, the pancakes are the emotional replacement for the newbies. And then Don Lothario is a character that I love to hate. Like, I have used him in so many different storylines within my own gameplay throughout the years, coming from Sims 2 already, where I love to hate him. I love using him as a homewrecker, but I also do have like stories where he's actually settled down and found true love and all of that other stuff. He is currently married to someone else who was also a serial romantic, and they both have the player traits, and they just have this really cool open marriage relationship, which is 100% because you can choose to live your life the way that you do, like you want, right? But that's why he's like, I have a love-hate relationship with him. And then Bella Goth is just iconic. If you don't want to, if you don't agree with me on that, then I don't know. But Bella Goth, iconic. Have loved her since Sims 1, when she was like kind of like abducted and removed from the Sims 2 Goth storyline, but she was found in Strangerville completely like random with no memory or whatever. I always made sure that I found like Bella Goth's way back into Mortimer's heart, although she had no recollection of who her children were. They became her adopted children. Anyway, that's besides the point. So those are my tiers explained. If you don't know how this works, and if you haven't seen anyone else do this on the internet, it goes from bad to best. So like this is usually like God tier level, S tier. I just name them differently because I wanted to name them differently. But anyway, let's get into actually rating all of the game packs, stuff packs, and expansion packs. They don't have the base game, obviously, but base game would be iconic. So imagine base game here, just because without the base game, you can't play any of these packs, right? Wow, I'm off to a great start. Since the rebrand, I'm not actually entirely sure what this pack is. Is this summer? I don't know. Hang on. I have my tab ready to give me the information. What is it? Oh, it's backyard stuff. I use this quite a lot, but I kind of feel like it's a pack that if I didn't have it, I wouldn't notice that it wasn't there. Actually, no, that's a lie. This is a staple for me. I was gonna go down the tangent about if I didn't have it in the game, I wouldn't really miss it or notice that it wasn't there. But I use it actually quite a lot. I like having, I think it's because I'm South African, and a lot of like growing up and stuff, and like family, we call them braais, but barbecues and stuff, they're always based outside, and they're always, you're gonna have the slip and slide, and you're gonna have like the different activities to do outside, and this adds a lot of that really fun stuff. So it's a staple for my game, I feel. Bowling, I literally never use this pack. I have it, but I literally never use it. I think the only thing I actually use from the bowling pack is like one of the awards trophy cabinets for decorations, but I literally never use the bowling pack otherwise. I've never been bowling. I just don't use it at all, and that's nothing against the pack. I have it. I've probably used more stuff from the pack than I'm actually giving credit for. I just don't recognize them as the stuff for that pack. Pets, can't live without my pets. I don't play with them per se, but pets I do feel is something so... Actually, did I overthink that? Do I want to put you here? I feel like my initial reaction is you can't have the Sims without having the pets, because I mean, this isn't even called pets, it's called cats and dogs. But it was Sims Unleashed, I loved in Sims 1. Sims 2 Pets was incredible. Sims 3, I can't remember exactly what it was called in Sims 3. I don't think it was called Pets, was it? Because it had horses and stuff, and I loved it. And then cats and dogs, I mean, they added foxes, but there was a lot of stuff like missing, I feel, that they have done in previous games. Obviously, horses is a big one for a lot of fans that's missing. But I even miss like the skunk from Sims 1, or was it Sims 2? I don't actually remember. But there was a skunk that would come and spray you if you tried to befriend it. And I don't know. I initially wanted to put it in Bella Goth. I will do a final revision afterwards, but my initial reaction and knee-jerk was to be able to put it in like, I can't play my game without it. But then I was going to go on to say how, as much as I have it in the game and I can't imagine my game without pets, I barely play families that have pets because I find them just an extra nuisance, because they're always getting sick to have to go to the vets and stuff, which is like, obviously I love animals in real life, don't get me wrong. I have 4 dogs and a cat, and I love them dearly. I've grown up with a variety of pets throughout my lifetime, but in the Sims, they're awesome. They're animated really well, like they're so on point, but I feel like they could have done so much more with this pack and given us more options, not from breeds or whatever, but just in terms of like, obviously horses was a big thing missing from the Sims 3. I had unicorns in the Sims 3 because I could, and like things like the skunks, and I feel like I like the idea of adopting strays and stuff, but they're just, pets in the game are just, I don't know how Sims like Let's Players you have them as like a staple in the family. I honestly don't. Anyway, City Living cannot play without. City Living is, I think, back in the day when I was playing on my MacBook and I got base game, it was the first expansion I ever bought. So that should give you some insights into how how much I didn't want to invest into all of the packs in the very beginning. I can't live without City Living. I love the apartments. I love the events that come with City Living and the ability to go to the different places and earn different, or have your different skills boosted for that time. To have different rewards that come from that. So like if you go to the Humor and Hijinks Festival and all that. So I love City Living. It goes in the Bella Goth category. It's one of the ones where people ask me which packs do I recommend. It's definitely up there because I feel like it adds so much. It also adds the social media career, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does, because it adds Penny Pizzazz, which is actually originally why I wanted to add it to my game, because I wanted the social media option, because that's what I do in real life actually. But yeah, that goes there. I think this is Cool Kitchen stuff or whatever. Yeah, Cool Kitchen. Okay, Cool Kitchen I sort of use, so I'm gonna put it in the random City Living townies section, because I sort of use it for like decorations and stuff, but if it was not in my game I wouldn't miss it. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, Dine Out, it's like, it's a staple, but like, I use it more than the kitchen stuff. But Dine Out, I mean, I send my Sims on dates every now and again, and for like, but it's not something that I do actively. Like, I don't know, I think it's also because I play on console. I can't have the mods installed to, like, if a friend invites you for breakfast, they pay for breakfast. It always ends up being you paying for breakfast type of thing. And I know there's a mod on PC that fixes that, although I haven't really played this in a while, so maybe they've updated that in console as well. So if they have, please let me know. But that's just something that it's there, and I wouldn't be able to play my game without it. It's nice to have, but it's not something that I use continually. Discover University, what was it called? Yeah, Discover University. I love this pack, not only because it added in pre-created Sims that I have a very, very deep emotional connection to from Sims 2 days, because it adds in the Pleasant twins and Angela and Lilith, or Angela, I'm drawing a blank right now, but the red-headed twins. They're actually my main in my current play, or the current game that I'm playing, or the game that I'm currently sinking the most time in off camera is I followed Angela, so I love Discover University. I think it's the closest The Sims in the iterations that they've done about tertiary education. I think they've gotten the closest to how it actually is, and like, you can apply for scholarships and you have to apply for student loans, and you can do extramural activities and join clubs, and I really like how the course structure is laid out. So you don't necessarily, especially if you're working Sim and you're studying like part-time, I really like the whole idea of being able to choose your subjects and then have your electives, which I know is a very American thing in terms of like American tertiary education, but I thought it was really cool because obviously in Sims 2 you move away to the university. In Sims 3 it's kind of like the only things that I do feel are missing from Discover University is Greek houses, and that's just because I got so used to having it in Sims 2 and Sims 3. Was it in Sims 3? I feel like it was. I don't remember suddenly. Hitting a blank. And then I also feel like the secret society in Sims 2 was far better than in Sims 4. I mean, it's cool that you can have the sprites and stuff, but I felt like once you leave university, you don't really have much tying you to it anymore. Or even if you finish your semester and then you have to redo it again, it's just, I don't know, it's so strange to me. Is like with Sims 2, if you were both secret society members, you had like the secret handshake and stuff. So I miss that, but still, it's something I love. I like the idea of having like the better degrees and specialized degrees, but maybe you can't get into that degree, so you go to like the one that it's less known for. So anyway, I just explained Discover University so poorly, but that's why that's there. Eco Lifestyle. So I like this pack. I know a lot of people don't, but I like this pack. I like the stuff that it adds. I love the build by objects. I think I've also in my brain, as much as it was an update that came out just before Eco Lifestyle or Eco Living or whatever it's called, that update, the free update that kind of overhauled the build system and overhauled the inventory system. Like, I know it's separate because that's base game update, but in my mind it's kind of been coupled together. So I will always affiliate Eco Lifestyle with getting the repo men back and getting firemen back and having the inventory system, something that should have been there from day one, and having the new build structure. So there's a lot of stuff that came not necessarily with this pack, but came at around the same time that this pack came out that I really like. But I really like a lot of the pieces that were added. The community spaces are phenomenal because I don't necessarily want like a recycler thingy and a inventor station in my house, because firstly that's going to chug electricity, but secondly I don't necessarily want to have a room dedicated to that, especially if I'm playing with like a smaller household. You can go to a dedicated space and you can use it. It's very much the same as how a gym works out for you in case you don't have equipment, like the funds available for gym equipment just yet. So I really like the idea of having community spaces. And if you're in an apartment, I know that they've given you kind of the vertical plances now, but if you really still want to do gardening, there's a whole space for you to go and basically do your community gardening as well. So I really like those aspects of eco living. The effect and the eco footprint, I'll be honest, like I played it for the first like month and then I got over it. I actually don't have, I turned off allowing NPCs to vote for stuff. So I don't have any of the random people coming into my house to steal things, random people cheating on people the entire time. I don't have any of those random neighborhood action plans going into place because I disabled that from the very beginning, because I was like, this can cause issues. I am the overlord in my game. I do not want any other external factors upsetting that. So I turned those settings off very early on, and then the eco footprints as well, I turned off after a month of knowing how to play it. And if I ever wanted to go back and play it again, it's still there. I do enjoy it, but I wouldn't put it on the iconic level, just because I like it for reasons that aren't necessarily the main focus of the pack, or even were related to the pack at all. They just happen to get released at the same time. Is this, I don't want to rate something that I've gotten wrong because I'm thinking it's something else. Is this the active way fitness? Yeah, it is the fitness one. So this, I barely use stuff from this. Like, I barely use stuff from it. Maybe for decorations and stuff, but I don't know. I hardly use like any of the clothing from it or any, like, oh no, that's a lie. Clothing stuff I use, so I'll put it there. But like, would I notice it if it wasn't in the game? Probably not. Like, even the sports equipment that comes with this isn't like the greatest. I think I actually use the spa day stuff more. I think it's the spa day stuff. I could be completely mistaken because I'm a little foggy, because if you can't hear, I'm sick. So I may have completely confused this entirely. Get Famous. I wouldn't say that it's a pack that it might not match your playstyle, but for me, I loved the idea of if my sim has only chosen to go the artist route, but they don't want to have the artist career. Like, I love the idea of being able to build your fame around that and being a famous author and video content creator or whatever the case is. But I just love the additions that this added to the game of, like, if you're a huge fan of a specific sim and you're like just this nobody and you're trying to like make it big and you like befriend people because they're like friendly or whatever, like, I don't know. I also like a lot of the pre-made sims that came with this pack, and it kind of relates back to Discover University, because obviously with this, and this is probably actually, as I speak about it, this is probably why I'm so attached to this pack, and it comes back to the emotional connection that it brings from Sims 2. So in The Sims 2, my diehard, like my ride or die family was the Broke family. Brandy Broke and her boys, I love them to bits. Dustin Broke's story, where like obviously he needed to turn his grades around, and he was getting caught by the police when sneaking out and stuff, and he needed to turn his life around, and you would have paired him up with Lilith, who was the more gothic twin of the two, but actually he was dating like the good twin, and the wholesome twin. Like, I loved that storyline. I think I played that for generations and generations. Like, I played the broke pleasant family household for so many generations. That was like my longest running family in The Sims 2. And I think because I sank so many hours into The Sims 2 growing up, because that was like really, I don't always say formative years, but Sims 2 definitely took up a big part of my childhood. It was like guaranteed Christmas, birthdays, I would get Sims 2 expansion packs. So why I think both of these packs have such a very special place in my heart is because it brings back that nostalgia factor of those storylines. Although they're alternative reality, alternative universe Sims, because they don't really have the same kind of upbringing or whatever, and like relationships. But I was playing Discover University, I was playing with the twins, I was putting both of them through varsity, and Angela was doing her painting thing, and because I hadn't turned Gain Fame off just yet, it was still set to default to just, you didn't have to opt into the spotlight, it kind of just gained it naturally, or automatically. Angela was becoming more like known in her painting career, and then eventually she could start gossiping about other celebrities and whatever, and there was an interaction to gossip about celebrity, and Dustin Broke's name popped up, and I was like, wait, what? And instantly I was back to like Sims 2 Shani of, oh my god, I can get them back together again. So I basically rebuilt the story that I had going in Sims 2 back in Sims 4. So that's probably why I like this pack, because I don't like the acting career whatsoever. I don't like the acting lot whatsoever. I just like the fame, perks and stuff that can be added, as well as like interactions with NPCs that I really like. So I don't know, it's a weird reason for me scoring it so high. Like, I don't think if I didn't have that like nostalgic kind of, oh, it added in a pre-made Sim that I used to adore, it would probably be here, but because of that nostalgia, it goes up there for me personally. Get to Work, I barely use, but it's kind of just a staple there. I think I've played one of each career, and it really doesn't make that big of a difference to me. Get Together, I mean, it's gonna fall in the same. It's very much with the pets, is like, I like the stuff that it's there and it should be a staple, and like, especially with Get Together where you have the ability to make clubs and stuff, so you can have a family gathering or like a friend gathering, and you don't necessarily have to, hi, please come over, hi, please come over, hi, please come over. You'd be like, boom, start group gathering, and everyone like comes through if they're available or whatever. This free guitar pack, I can't even remember what it's called right now. I have it, I never use it. The holiday stuff, I guess I kind of use, but like, whatever. Island Living, I like the location, and I like the conservationist stuff, and I've really enjoyed upgrading Sulani, and mermaids are cool, but it's not really like my vibe. They're cool and stuff to have, but it's not. I like the location, and I like the stuff, like obviously it added a lot of cool hairs and textures and stuff, and like ceiling fans and whatever, because coming back to South African, in my house almost every single room has a ceiling fan because it gets hot in summer. So I liked like having that familiarity, and it's got that like really like Caribbean-esque type vibe. Jungle Adventure, or whatever this one was called, I played it once. I had Angela and Dustin go on honeymoon there, but like, am I gonna miss it if it's not in the game? Not really. Okay, these are all always the same, so I don't, these I get confused with between toddler stuff and, oh wait, that's toddler stuff. This must be kids stuff. No, yes, no, kids room stuff. Okay, so the kids room stuff I don't really use. I use it sometimes, but not really. I'm not the biggest builder, but when I do, I spend hours and hours and hours building. But what I do is I download a house from the gallery as like the external, and I take out all the internal walls and all of the furnishings and stuff. So I start with an external shell. I hate building houses from scratch, but I'll decorate them for days. So I like the stuff, but whatever. Laundry day, I love. It's a staple in my game. I can't explain why. I love it. It's just one of those things that it's one of the packs that I cannot live without. It's like, it was also community voted, which I think was so random. Like, there are people on the internet now that really want to be able to mow the grass in The Sims, and I'm like, but why? But then I also remember that there are people, me included, who wanted to have laundry added into the game. So I don't know, I love laundry day. I love a bunch of the stuff that comes with laundry day. Like, the built by objects that come with this are absolutely incredible. Even like the clothing stuff that comes, it's just so great. It's more like chilled, laid back. I use a lot of stuff from this pack. Is this vintage glamour? I feel like it is vintage glamour. Luxury party. Luxury party, I think I'm gonna put up here, not because it's like whatever. I purely think if luxury party is the pack that I'm thinking it is, I use luxury party when I'm doing events for the buffet table. Like, buffet table should have been included in base game. Like, I can't cater a party without it. Like, it's incredible, especially like weddings and stuff where you don't necessarily want to hire a caterer. So luxury party goes up there. The pack that no one actually ever knows how to pronounce, but also was so far, like, if we think Star Wars is so super far out of it, like this Moschino pack crossover thing, the only reason I like it is because of the photographer career / ability. That's the only reason. I have no interest in this pack otherwise. I barely use any of the clothing options. It was a really strange and odd crossover for me just in general. Movie night stuff, I think it also, like, I use it for some of the stuff, but whatever. My first pet stuff, this is, I don't know, like, I barely use it. I use the pets more than I use the My First Pet stuff, because a lot of it was really, like, random and very, like, if you're a pet fanatic type vibe. So it's there, but I hardly, like, if ever, use it. There might be 1 or 2 pieces. If anything, there's more clothing items that I use for, like, the toddlers or the kids or whatever, if I'm thinking correctly. Nifty Knitting, I know a lot of people got, like, hated on this, but also one of the community voted pieces. But this one has more of a personal meaning to me, because I've been able to integrate a lot of my own personal life into the game through Nifty Knitting. Completely on accident, I happen to actually be wearing a jersey my mom knitted for me. So I grew up with my mom knitting continuously. Like, my mom would knit 3 jerseys during winter. Like, that was just her staple. Or make me a scarf, or do knitting projects for the local community, or whatever the case is. Like, I grew up knowing my mom can knit, and I learned to knit from her. I'm not as good as she is. I can't follow patterns. I don't know how to read them, but I can knit, and I learned that from my mom. And being able to put that into the game, for me personally, it was like a big nostalgic thing. And like, Sims is always going to be a life simulation, and you can play like as super realism as you want, but also you're always going to draw from inspiration from what you know as well. At least that's how I play. So this was a very big personal pack for me. Like, I know a lot of people hated it, and they were like, we wanted arts and crafts, but then it ended up being knitting. But I love the pack just for that personal side, but also the online store to be able to sell stuff is just, love it. Should be in a base game. This is a game pack. Which one is this? No. Outdoor retreat. I don't know if that's cutting off in my screen recording, but that's outdoor retreat. I think I've been to Granite Falls once, so am I gonna miss it if it's not there? Nah. Parentshood should be base game interactions. Like, it adds so much to the game. It adds so much to children and toddlers, and the entire learning of traits and manners and emotional control and all of that. Like, I love this. It adds so much, like, depth into the life phases that don't necessarily have that much going on for them, which granted, they can add so much more with babies, with toddlers, with children. Teens are basically mini adults, just without the ability to do like adult things. And even then, like basically the only thing that they can't do is get a full-time high-paying job and woohoo. Like they can pretty much do everything else and they can mess around, but like teens, like this added a lot of cool stuff for that age phase, because obviously young adults and adults are like queen bees of the Sims. They have everything that they could ever want to be able to do, and then like it kind of teeters off again with elders. So I do personally feel like elders, babies, toddlers, and children need a lot more stuff added to their gameplay. So I'd like to see like a kids pack come out that is very focused like Parentshood, but like after school activities and club. Well, I know we've got clubs with get together, but like actual clubs, like where they can learn a skill and stuff like that. And then I would also really like to see more age appropriate teenage stuff be implemented for teenagers. So like the ability to sneak out and go see a movie with a friend, or like go on a little bit of a date and have parents not wanting you to date, and or have parents being like, we don't care, you can date whoever you want, or not liking the boyfriend. Like I want more stuff that teenagers deal with, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I think this is outdoor patio stuff. Perfect patio stuff. I mean, I use the stuff barely, but I use it. I think there's a jacuzzi I really like from this pack. Realm of Magic, I haven't really followed the storyline in depth too much. I do like the ability of recreating some form of Harry Potter kind of alternative universe for myself, where I finally get my letter and go to Hogwarts. But I do like the way that they integrated it. I really enjoyed the witches in, I think it was Sims 2, I could be completely mistaken, but where you could be a good witch, a bad witch, a neutral witch, and whatever your traits you did affected like how your character presented. And I remember the neutral witch being brown, with like the brown robes, and then you can have a cat and stuff. Like I love that so much. And like they made it a lot more exciting, I feel, with this pack. Do I use it every single day? No, but I do like that it's there, and I wouldn't want to have it not in the game. I think the item that I use the most is the bassinet for the babies, just because it's the prettiest of all of them. So that's just one of those things. This is romantic garden stuff, I think. I mean, I use the stuff, but whatever. Seasons should have been base game stuff. Like seasons, if you're watching this video and you don't know what packs you need and you're thinking of getting into the Sims, without a doubt, when you buy base game, you have to install seasons. Like that's a DLC you can't play without. You can't have the game without seasons. It adds so much. It adds so much like depth to the game. It adds so much extra stuff to do. It adds so many more like realistic things into the game, where I know like Sims is all about escaping reality and all of that stuff, but I love it. Like you have the options to turn like weather effects off and thunderstorms and stuff off, but I love it. I mean, little kids get scared at night when the thunderstorm happens, and that's reality. Like when you're little, you're scared of thunder, or you're like the really brave kid that's not scared of thunder. So I don't know, seasons is just like one of those ride or dies for me. Spa day, I mean, it's a staple, whatevs. Spooky stuff, this also goes with seasons in terms of like events and stuff that you can have throughout the year, but I love Halloween. Halloween is coming up. I mean, it's just gone September now, so we're actually heading into spooky season really soon, which is so weird for me as a South African, because we don't, as a country, we don't celebrate Halloween. It's a very American thing, I feel, from my perception. But I love Halloween. I dress up every year. We don't go trick-or-treating, it's just not done here, but obviously with COVID as well, don't go do that. But I like it because it adds so much extra stuff, because I'm on console and I don't have the ability to download mods and stuff. I think the reason so many of these stuff packs are rated much higher up is because I don't have the access to mods, which I think if I had access to mods, a lot of these stuff packs would be lower down. Strangerville, I've played once, so I would put a chair, but because I have played it once, so like I'm gonna put it there, I played it once and it was like literally recently. I don't see the point in me ever replaying it again because I've done it. I do like a lot of the build buy objects that get brought into the game. But nothing much else to report out there. Tiny Living, I love. The stuff that comes with Tiny Living is gorgeous. The ability to have a little tiny home, like in that Facebook Sims group that I'm part of. I love seeing how people will post an actual IRL tiny home and be like, let's recreate this in The Sims, and then like a couple days later, like the community builders have come back and they've made incredible, inspired by that, or like carbon copy to life versions of it, and it's just phenomenal. Like, I love Tiny Living. I don't ever think I'd be able to live in a tiny house, but it is cool to see people who can. This is the toddler stuff, isn't it? I feel like I've already checked this, but I need to check it again. Yes, toddler stuff. Just because there's so little stuff available for toddlers, and it comes back to not having access to mods on console, it adds a lot of clothing options and hair options for toddlers, which I feel should have already been there. And that comes back to me saying how there needs to be more packs for age-specific people, or not even packs. Let's just put this into base game, please. Stop making people pay for things that should be in the base game. Vampires, I love, which is so strange being a Harry Potter fan that I rate it above the realm of magic, but I am so there's actually a family that I've been playing for purposes of a Let's Play, but I haven't actually posted any of the Let's Play content, but I'm so deep into the story, where I kind of have an idea of how I want to present it to you guys in terms of content, with vampires and the storyline that I found myself accidentally playing. So keep an eye out on the channel for stuff coming in the future. My dogs are barking in the background as well, so you can hear them now. Vampires, I love it. I know a lot of people hate it. I know a lot of people have a really low tolerance for having the vampires just randomly rock up at your house and suck your Sims plasma. So like, I have personally, to date, and I've had vampires for a very long time, I have never had a vampire come into my house unwanted or uninvited. They come and stand at my door, but they've never come in. They've never attacked a sim of mine. I've never had that happen. I know I'm probably one of the few simmers out there that hasn't had an issue with the vampires. I've seen people uninstall this game from their PCs because they literally just don't want to have to deal with the vampires anymore. And that's why Vlad is placed down there, because it's a running joke. But I have personally never had an issue with it. I love the way you have to choose powers, but then also weaknesses, and it's completely supernatural and out there from realism, but the way that they did it, and it ties so seamlessly into like Sims in general, and having like a human sim learn all about the lore because they love everything about vampires. I love it. I love it so much. And also the plasma trees just look freaking cool. And then this must be vintage glamour stuff. This comes with the butler. I like having the butler. It's one of the few things. I like the vintage glamour stuff. It comes with a lot of cool what's it called? It comes with a lot of cool clothing options and stuff, so once again, I think a lot of these stuff packs, I've mentioned this a couple of times in the video, but a lot of these stuff packs are rated a lot higher up because I play on console and because I don't have access to mods and custom content. But that's my rating. I don't think I need to make any changes to it whatsoever. I know I initially had the knee jerk of pets going up here, but I'm actually, like, I don't hold pets in the same way that I hold the others. I think a lot of these up here are also emotional, actually, like, this realm. A lot of emotional attachment to, like, Nifty Knitting. I know a lot of people didn't like this pack, but I love it. As for the upcoming Star Wars pack, because I haven't played it yet, but the gameplay trailer, I feel I've seen some people who were originally super negative about it, and if you want to watch more about my Star Wars reaction or whatever, go watch the video. It's linked in the description below. But probably it's starting at a baseline for me, just because I have plans for it, and I have plans to use a lot of the stuff that's coming in the game. Since seeing the gameplay, I know a lot of people are more intrigued about it because we're kind of getting an idea of where we're going to be going with it. But I guess I'll see in a week, right? Is it a week? I think it's like a week. well, next week Tuesday, so less than a week. But yeah, this is me rating the Sims packs, or the Sims 4 packs, since today is the 6th year anniversary of the Sims being out on PC. That is going to be it for the video. 2 videos in a row, can you imagine? I've uploaded 2 days in a row. Who am I and what have I done with Shani? But I wanted to get back into some stuff. This is, if you've made it to the end of this video, congratulations. It's a lot of personal overshare and a lot of waffling, and I don't think I'm going to cut out too much of it. But I hope you guys did enjoy. Happy simming. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you are new around here. Remember that we all human differently, and I'll see you guys again soon. Sul sul.